Finally trying out these eye patches that I got from Jade. They're nice and cool. They slide a little bit. I understand why they're like relax when you put them on because this one fell off. But yeah, I'm about to take them off. Good morning, guys. More snowflake pancakes. I really like this. This is handy and super cute. Alrighty. Broccoli. I haven't eaten my broccoli in a little while. I need to get another couple bags. And then some kimchi tofu soup because, you know, it's winter, but also protein. I should put some sesame seeds in there. And then there's another one of my lifted cups. You guys will see this before this vlog, I think, maybe. Who knows? And I'm watching that You Are What You Eat series on Netflix. It's interesting. I mean, most of the stuff, some of the stuff I know just because I have allergies and I don't use a regular diet. And then other stuff that they're telling you about the industry, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's unsurprising, but yeah, I like it so far. Okay, guys, I got to episode 3 and I have a problem with this fitness dude. So basically, there's meat and dairy and there's vegan, and they got a trainer that he like specializes in vegan fitness. And he's talking about the one guy, so the guy who had to change his diet to vegan. He's also like going through some personal things. He's had to like move several times, and you know his kids are home from preschool and all that stuff, and so he's struggling a little bit. And then he's like, oh yeah, his brother on the omnivore diet, he seems like he's more into like he's giving more. What did he say? Let me get the word.
An omnivore diet seems to be much more invested in this study than
How are you going to tell somebody they're not invested because they have life going on? He's still doing the study, which means he is invested. That is so fucking rude of any professional. And that's not even his diet. Your body has to adjust when you're on a vegan diet. And they started out giving them prepared foods, and then they had to do it themselves. If you're not used to cooking that way, it's going to maybe take you a minute. And mind you, also said his kid is home from preschool. Kids are a lot of work. That was so fucking rude. I don't like him at all. This guy, apparently he's great, but Okay, I'm on episode 4 now. And these other doctors are hella judgmental too. So like the study is great that you're doing it on the twins. I think they probably should have started them on the same diet and then switched them. They both should have started plant and then they both should have done vegan. To actually see, because sometimes people's bodies just don't like certain foods. Because they're talking to these two twins and they're all like, how close do they stick to the diet? And they're asking them, and then she was like, it was making her feel like she was overeating, and like this other one is just beans. Some people cannot eat that many beans like every fucking day. Beans cause gas and all types of other stuff. Yeah, there's other stuff in the meal, but come on. And now like they're talking that, like she even said, she was like, this might not come across properly. Then you need to find another way to say it as a professional. Look, why after the fact, after improperly phrasing that, do they go in the proper phrasing of you need to eat enough so you can sustain your muscle? Like, why don't you start with that? Also, so they're doing this study on twins to see what the difference is. However, they're mentioning some of them outside of the diet. They're not quite as necessarily doing the same exercises, which means there's already a difference right there. And it was the one woman, she was on the omnivore diet, and they were like the bad fat went up a little bit, whereas there was something else, like her muscle mass stayed higher. And they were talking to the vegan sister, and like, oh, if you added the weight training, like your sister, you might have kept this. And they're like, okay, so you have a little bit more bad fat than, we would like. And I'm like, based on an omnivore diet compared to a vegan diet, why would you not expect that type of fat to go up scientifically? But I'm also like wondering, like, when they plan these meals for them, like, did they ask ahead of time, like, hey, in your normal everyday life, certain foods you eat, how do you feel? Because like honestly, that's the most important question to ask yourself when you're trying to change your diet, is how do certain foods make you feel? Because if they're like, oh, we have all of these prepared meals, and like how everyone, when they're trying to bulk up, it's chicken and broccoli. Like, okay, does your body even like chicken? Just like that one woman, she's like, the beans, what kind of beans were they giving her? I should probably finish the whole thing. I should probably finish the whole series before commenting, but okay, why is not every single doctor or scientist person in here that is critiquing and helping them along not biased? Because this woman in here, she's like, oh yeah, with the vegan, she's very skeptical and like, oh, this is shocking, blah blah blah. And she told the two, she's like, they admit that they're under eaters. I'm not sure if that's in general, they know they could just eat a little more, they forget to eat sometimes, or it's just based on the science, what science says you should be eating. They don't quite eat that much, but she's mentioning, she was like, oh, if you weren't eating this much protein, you probably wouldn't have gotten to this much gain in muscle, which, that may or may not be true. However, if they sustain the regular amount of food that they normally eat, you would have a much more unbiased study because that's what they normally eat. Because if you push them to eat more, are they going to keep up with that? They might. Some people do. Some people are not good with that. So I'm like, why wouldn't you just let them maintain what they normally do just with the modified diet so you can get an accurate representation for someone's normal life? Because also a lot of people can't pay for trainers. So, I mean, honestly, giving them a regular home workout would have been the best way to go. But, I mean, I appreciate them doing the fitness workouts because everyone needs to be more mobile. Okay, so obviously I'm back on my documentary kick. So I'm watching The Game Changers right now, and they did a test. I think this particular moment is a little more fair of a test because it's literally like 2 hours in between each meal. Like, obviously, they're all pro athletes, not necessarily of the same sport. One of them has been vegan for like 4 years. One of them had switched to plant-based. And then the other one, he still eats meat. He was like, we eat Popeyes before games, blah, blah, blah. And they did a blood test. They took the blood 2 hours after eating. One did a beef burrito, one did a chicken burrito, and the other did a bean burrito. And then the next day, they both did beans. All three of them did beans, excuse me. And you can see the difference in the fat content, like, in their blood. And I'm like, that is actually really cool. I kind of wish I could have seen that test done in the other, whatever I was just watching. You Are What You Eat. That would have been really cool. I'm like, all these tests seem really cool. Like, I want to go do them. And I'm like, I don't really need to do them. They're probably really expensive outside of studies like this. And I'm not interested in being in a study. I don't really have much reason. Well, no, I don't think I would qualify for anything. Maybe like an after injury study, but guys, I'm in Wegmans and I just discovered this pocket, or I forgot about it, I don't know. Alrighty, I forgot to bring in some of my cold bags to the store and ended up pretty much doing all of my grocery shopping here. I just have to pick up my bread from Mom's. I'm probably gonna get like maybe one other thing, but yeah. Sponsor me, Wegmans. Alrighty guys, got my snow in my buns, looking all cute. Expert packing job in the back of my trunk, if I do say so myself. Thank you, Mommy, for teaching me the ways. But yeah, so I pretty much got everything, except for the bread that I like, because the carbonate is fine. It's just extremely soft, and it doesn't last as long as the Bakehouse one. So that's what I'm going to go pick up. Might pick up ice cream, don't need it, so I'm mainly just going to go get bread. I'm going to stop by REI because I need heavier duty winter gloves. Like all these things that I had as a kid, and I'm just like, let me go get them now while it's snowing. But there was a pause in the snow. I just didn't get up as early as I was planning to get up. And it's not sticking, so like it's fine. I can drive in the snow. Alright guys, we are going to try this gluten-free and vegan pizza dough tonight. And I do have a pizza stone, and I left it at my parents' house. But I do have a pizza pan over here. Alrighty, so it's definitely gluten-free dough. I am going to put it in to start without anything on it. I think I'm going to put a pan of water underneath it as well for when I put the stuff on top. And I'm debating whether I want to get the new cheese that I tried or finish off the Mexican cheese. Alrighty, so this is the finished product. Time to cut. Okay, I took a little sliver out because, I was like, I want to make sure it's cooked. It is. It's got like a little that sponge kind of doughiness that I like. So I'm glad I put the sauce on a little later. I probably could have put it on from the start if I was going to do more sauce. But yeah, so far so good. I think I'll probably buy it again. Well, yeah, I'll definitely get it again. Alrighty guys, so I just dropped my car off because I have to get my tire changed. And so it's not gonna be that long, it's just one tire. So I'm either going to go eat, because there's an African place up here that I haven't gotten food at in a while, or I'm just gonna get Starbucks because I have my lunch from work, because I left work early. So I have that in my bag still, so I can just eat it when I get to my parents. But we'll see. Crossing. Alrighty, so I'm waiting for my car to get done, and I came to Green Bar instead. Got spinach and rice and avocado and cranberries. I should have got some sort of nut on here, and salmon and sweet potato, corn, onion. Hey guys, I'm looking really washed out. And I'm not sure, I don't think I had a filter on, or maybe, anyways, I just came from my rowing club's chili cook-off, and because that one we happened to host in a brewery, I was in the brewery too long because it's like all open, so I'm like, my eyes are a little itchy, I'm a little stuffy. I'll be fine. This happened before, because I just need to leave earlier. I mean, technically I should just not go, but leaving earlier would be just as fine. And yes, I am procrastinating on my hair, which I was gonna do tomorrow, but my deadlift is on Saturday morning, and I'm going for a new number. I'm gonna go for a new number each time, but it's a little heavy number. So I'm like, I kind of save my wrist, but I have the wrist wrap, so my grip isn't actually an issue. So yeah, I'll probably still do it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get up and do that, because I want to. It's just easier to procrastinate. But yeah, and then I'm gonna go do a row tank later. Not the one at the Navy. I did that one last year, but this year I'm gonna do a different one. It's at a college, because my rowing coach and one of my rowing members, they coach at high schools, and they have for the winter conditioning, the numbers are a little sporadic, so they're like, oh yeah, come on. It's because they're using the school, it's free, so we're rowing. It is rowing instead of sculling, but good morning guys. I just got something exciting. Forbidden noodles in bulk. I also like the jade ones, but I like these ones the best. And then East African shea butter, because I've been out of it for a little while. But this is a pound, and it's more cost effective than getting the glass jars that I was getting. We'll see, because I like that brand that I had. Yeah, and then I'm just going to spray my scalp and eat something, and then wash my hair and retwist it. Alrighty, so I have pre-parted the hair that I want to French braid, because I have a little less hair left over. So if I do any less French braiding, I may run out of hair. I should be good at this point, but like also I feel like this will look a little better in the long run on my face, because I don't actually like a middle part. And so I did the center braid. Like once my hair grew out, it looked like I did a middle part, and I don't like it. I think it kind of makes me look like a little boy. But yeah, and even Aria, she was like, when I cut my hair, she's like, you look like a kid. I was like, she didn't say little boy, but like, I feel like it looks a little boyish. Like, obviously, I don't look a little boy. Anyways, that's not important. I'm going to go grab a bottle of water, and then I'm going to watch The Mummy. And my hair is detangled better than it was the first time I did this, so it shouldn't take me as long. Which, like, it's my fault I didn't detangle it better last time. But, like, I was like, it's fine. It can take a while, because I know it will. But yeah, since I'm going to do the more French braids and it's more detangled, it won't take as long. It'll still take some hours. So I expect to watch The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. I didn't see the third Mummy on Hulu. The remake is on there, but I'm not going to watch that. I didn't really care for it that much. So we'll figure out what I'll watch if I do need to watch a third movie. Maybe I'll just watch a series. Okay. Hey guys, I'm back from lifting. Today's combination is like a little There's one workout we're not sure we're going to keep in the rotation like at all. It's the progression to that deadlift with the little swing in it, which my shoulder blade doesn't really like that. So yeah, there's that. But I like my deadlift day to be with my squat day, because I need to be actually warm for that. And like I pretty much, if I don't do squats, I'm not warm enough for the deadlift. Like, just not. So yeah, I got an ice pack here. And then I made chocolate protein brownie. Did it, the microwave one, I did it with the Wegmans protein powder instead of the pea protein that I have. So like it's automatically a little bit sweeter. And then I used vanilla paste and vanilla extract, because I can. And then I have the dark chocolate milk instead of just regular chocolate. And it's good. I think it'll still be good too if I also still used some coffee. But even without that, it's fine. I think I'm going to go, I'm doing the milk. I think I'm going to do 1 cashew, 1 soy, and then 1 chocolate. Because I do remember, like, I was watching the video about the milks, and they're like almond milk, because of the sugars in it. It is more prone to cavities. And I remember, like, in the past going to the dentist, and they're like, yeah, your dental hygiene is fine. We're kind of wondering why I had the cavities that I did. They're like, maybe you have, like, acid reflux. I'm like, no, I don't. And I was like, oh, it's the almond milk. Because, like, if I'm going out to eat or something, like, I'll have water, so it's like a light rinse on my teeth, but I'm not gonna bring a whole toothbrush into the bathroom, so I'll probably bring like a clove rinse or Listerine something with me, like when I'm out eating, and then like when I'm home, I can just be more proactive about it. But yeah, I do because I used to get soy milk instead of almond. I would mix it up, and I think like my teeth are a little better. Like my teeth are relatively fine now. Like I said, dental hygiene's good. But yeah, and I do actually like cashew milk, so I think I'll do that. I'll do the extra creamy for this dark chocolate milk, and then a cashew milk, and then a regular soy. Hey guys, so today is an extremely late start because I mentioned the other day my shoulder blade does not like that one exercise, and I could not get up any earlier even if I wanted to. But I'm about to import some DNA because I did Ancestry, and I can import it into living DNA, which seems to be a pretty good breakdown and give ethnicities. I think this is one that gives ethnicities and not just like areas. All right, so I've uploaded and my results are being prepared. I signed up for that health one, but I'm probably not going to do that because you also have to like pay to unlock all the extra ones. But whatever free trades come up, sure. But yeah, they also have the family matching, which that one I'm interested slightly. I mean, it'd be cool, but also it's not necessary. It's more so going to depend on, their individual character, because, if we're not actually going to be cool, then it doesn't really matter for family. I love you from a distance, it's fine. Okay, but then I was also looking, I remember my cousin, I remember my aunt mentioning that she said one of our cousins had done genealogy up into the 1800s on that side of the family, and my mom put it into a tree, or it's combined with a cousin's tree somewhere on there. So I'll have to dig in more about that and see if, like, maybe we can find pictures or something. I'm sure at a certain point you can't find pictures, maybe. But then on my dad's side, where I mentioned Candace is a cousin of mine, I'm going to see if she has names any further back, because she showed where we cross and meet through relatives. Because on the other side of my family, they found a photo of, the person who was on the plantation. It's actually a pretty nice photo of her, but I don't know if they've looked any further than her. So I'll have to see about that. But yeah, it's very interesting, time-consuming, emotional process. I actually haven't been exploring like all the new functions on Ancestry DNA, and so I did the little compare, because one of my mom's half sisters is on here, and then a cousin of mine is on here. And looking at them, like, it's funny. So this is my aunt and this is my cousin. This is my dad's side. This is my mom's side. And like, I think it's just funny. It's kind of like a running joke that my dad's side is blacker because you see this blue is Europe. But also on my mom's side, well, not this side of my mom's side, is the side that looks to be going back to Europe, but I don't have photos for. So we'll see, because the living DNA is still like processing. We'll see. So in doing this, they pretty much, it's very much African and European data, but like the way that it's divided is interesting compared to Ancestry. So it essentially like bumps up my European and lowers my African a little bit, but it does divide in like the sub countries and everything. But they won't show me all of them unless I pay for it. So they're like, oh yeah, like 5 sub countries in Africa and then 2 or 3 in Europe. But it did show me 1 in Africa, and so of the Asan people in Africa. So that's interesting. I'll get to look more into that. They had a little blurb, but like I'm not looking at it right now anymore. But to get the rest of the countries I have to pay for, it's like $30. So like it's not bad. But then the family matching, they do that every 1 to 2 weeks. So they haven't run that yet for me to see if anybody that I'm related to used their system. And then they won't do the maternal and paternal line unless I buy their test, because like the DNA I submitted doesn't contain the markers for that, even though on Ancestry DNA they've split it up in those categories. But I didn't open the file that they sent me with the DNA match, but I'll probably maybe try the GED match or whatever, or another one, and see how much more information it'll give me with before I pay for something. Because yeah, I'm like, based on Ancestry, I'm only 18% European. But based on this, it says like 40 something. And I'm like, that's a lot. Not to be rude, but not that large of a percentage would run down. So I don't know. I'd have to talk to like a geneticist about it, you know, comparing the sites and the way that they compare the DNA and stuff like that. Alrighty guys, we've got rice, kimchi, vegan egg, and sesame seeds, and some seasoning and soy sauce and mirin and some chili oil. And then I have lemonade to the side while I get to writing. Alrighty, we getting down with the maitake mushrooms today. I think I'm gonna make that ginger peach tea from the lifted cup. Is that how? Yeah, that should be out by now, maybe. Anyways. Alrighty guys, we're gonna try these rice paper egg rolls again. They rolled tighter, and I rolled them the way, oh my god, her Nig, you know, she has the baby, and she's like, oh, this is hard with one arm, and then she looks at the baby. But yeah, so I rolled them the way she did. My fryer's a little lower. It probably would be easier for me to just put the oil in the stove. But because I have the fryer, that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably do one of these regular. But yeah, it's mainly veggies, and I did put some of the gardein in here. I was considering tofu, but nah. Alrighty, we're off to a good start. Couple bubbles, but you know, this one looks pretty tight. And then I have a few more, and we'll see. This one looks like bubble wrap. Can you guys see how glorious the moon looks? Well, obviously not, because this isn't one of those types of cameras. If only. Alrighty, the moment of truth. Which one should I pick? Should I do eeny meeny? Oh yes, and I love the episodes with reverse shoes, everything. Okay. It's really good. I should probably pour sauce instead of dip, but it is really good. A little bit oily, but it's fine. I can't say whether the fog contributed, but
I would say 18 cars. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the first 3 or 4 were like, oh my god, there's fog. And everybody else behind was like, what's going on up there? Pow!
Ooh.
Oh no, everybody stopped.
Backed up bad. Yeah, this is nice. This Hudson Boathouse at Washington College. Nice pretty water. That is a beautiful view. So apparently a lot of neurospicy people are attracted to rowing, which is a nice little tidbit to know. So if you have ADHD, go ahead and row. I am in the row tank. So at the naval tank, they actually have something controlling the waves so they can make them higher, faster, or lighter. But here they have the tarp. Came to work my opposite side. I'm a starboard rower, so I came over to port. Wow, this awesome boathouse. And they have a shop back there. Oh. Men started rowing in 68, the women started rowing in 74, and the smaller boats that are hanging up above me, this is one of the only schools that has smaller boats. It's a liberal arts college, but they still do like the general classes, like literature and stuff like that. All these trophy plaques, those are really cute. Hey guys, I think I forgot to mention that I was going to the row tank. But this is the row tank at Washington College. And then I came to do photos for a project, and I'm filming later this month, and I'm at my parents' house, and they just made bacon, so I was like, ugh. Yeah. Alrighty, so I came into the basement. I was looking for my caboodle case from when I was a kid, which I don't think is here anymore. But then I came to this beautiful leather bag. This was my mom's mom, and it's missing a handle, so I'm probably just going to take it to a leather shop and be like, hey, I need a new handle. But then
mom's, that's grandma's.
I said your mom's.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so your mom's. But inside, because this is a shoe bag, are my mom's shoes. So my mom used to run track, and then you guys saw me wear her wedding dress. These were her wedding shoes. These are cute.
No, I don't know.
These are cute flats. We don't wear the same size, so I can't take them, unfortunately. But I do remember trying on all of them as a kid.
I would have worn the black shoes for work.
Oh yeah, these ones. I think these are the ones that were in the picture, but I remember trying them on. And I like that, like, it was soft something. You had another pair of shoes by them too, or was it just this one? By that label. But yeah, no, they're... Because you're an 8, right?
Well, I was 7.
I could maybe put a thingy thing back here.
Yeah.
Or is that... Because I have another pair of shoes there, actually. They're 7s. But I think maybe... But I'm like, if I put a thing back here and they still slip off, then... Yeah. Look, and they have my sister's name. It was meant to be. She will be with me forever.
Yeah,
Aww.
well,
The heel.
35 years next week. Oh yeah, look at that. Breaking off. That
But
plastic heel.
It's like I can feel the nail where the heel is screwed in.
Oh my gosh. They're smaller.
What is that?
Like a work shoe.
And you said they're smaller. Smaller how?
They look smaller.
No. They're the same size. Well, no, because my foot isn't
These are
back there.
smaller.
No, they're the same. So you guys know I like to acquire things when I come to my parents' house. Oops, sorry, it's dark. Ooh. I know, it's my daddy's weightlifting belt. He had 2. I thought he only had 1. But it fits. So now I have 2. Or I'm going to see if my sister's going to start weightlifting. And I'll send her one. Or I'll buy her one. So, I was doing family tree stuff with my mom. And now it's really late. And I forgot to eat. So I'm going to make steak and grits. I don't feel like making rice. Because they don't have a rice cooker. Which I still can, but... Hey guys, so I'm over here at my parents'. And I wanted to talk to you guys for a second about my nose. So this isn't like I don't really have plans to get a nose job or anything like that. I don't like hate my nose or anything. However, The only things on my face I've ever been insecure about are my teeth and my nose. Now, the thing about my nose is I was not always insecure about my nose. It didn't happen until like about high school. And the thing is because, so you see how my nose has this actual bridge? At some point I convinced myself that it was just like the way my bones grew was probably something, inherited or whatnot. But because like it's like this bridge and it looks like there's a split in my nose, and that's always bothered me in photos of like I don't like the way it looks, or like for my profile view I don't like the way it looks. But I was going through a lot of family photos and I'm like, I don't remember my nose growing like this, and looking at all of my family members' pictures, like the bottom part of my nose looks like it, but then like like the shaft, I'm like, well, who did I get this shaft from? And so like I pretty much mainly had like baby pictures and like from when I was like 3, and I'm like, that's not gonna tell me anything about my nose. My face was like this big. And so at rehearsals and I see older pictures from like middle school, my nose is straight. And I distinctly remember I was on the Comet with my mom. You guys know that wooden roller coaster, and I hit my nose exactly where this bend is. It hurt so fucking bad. We didn't go get it looked or anything, but I have been to an ear, nose, and throat doctor because the way that I breathe, I feel like there's something wrong with it. I prefer to breathe through my nose. I'd still prefer to breathe through my nose regardless, but I breathe very shallow and it feels kind of like stuffed. And I asked him, he was like, there's like slight deviation, but nothing like outside of the norm. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. But then I was like, as I get older, I don't know if it's going to bother me more or bother me less, because it's something that's always in the back of my head. But I don't know at this point if it would really fix anything. And being someone who has had major surgery, and it was very traumatic. I don't even remember the surgery, but I remember the after, and it was very traumatic. I don't really want to go under the knife for anything, even, like a non-invasive, well, nose job is still invasive, but also because before I was just like, you get a nose job, there's no guarantee as to what you look like. And I'm like, even though I'm essentially, if I did something, I'm like, would you be able to round it out? Because, like, there's, like, a divot here. So it's, like, always, like, a guess. And so it's like, I'm used to the way my face looks. But I'm looking back at my other pictures and I'm like, my nose does look different. I'll show you. It's dark now, so I'll show you in the morning when I get up the pictures. I was wearing glasses at the time, so it's a little harder to see, but, like, you can very clearly see my nose. It's not flat. And nobody else, like my sister's nose doesn't have this. My mom's, my dad's, nobody's. I was like, that's interesting. It makes sense. It's kind of annoying because I don't really want a nose job. But if I ever get one, that's the reason. And you guys will know about it. But yeah, I don't have plans to at this point. But that is something that bothers me. So, but other than that, there's been some progress made genealogy-wise, a little bit. And then the next time I go to Charlotte, I'm going to meet up with Candace again, and we're going to go to, like, the state records place. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do that. Obviously, it's still winter, so I'm not going to go right now. Morning, guys. So here are the photos. Right. These are very old. And see, I was saying, I was like, so the glasses kind of make it look a little wider, but I'm like, it's still straight. But then I'm like, in here. But then, see, I'm like, the bottom of my nose is still the same, but I don't have that flat tip there. Or it looks indented, whatever. Here. Yeah. So I'm just like, it wasn't there. And that's why I wasn't insecure before. So there's that. And yeah, see, it's very, It's not the most pronounced, but it's very noticeable to me. I feel like that might be why I have the amount of phlegm that I do. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a second opinion from a different ear, nose, and throat doctor at some point, but it's not like a top priority. It was just something on my mind. I also have a dent here because I ran into the wall. On the corner of the wall. But yeah. It's nice and windy out. Oh, my avocado trees. Daddy had to trim them. And he asked me, he was like, are you going to take those or am I getting rid of them? I was like, no. So at some point I'll take them back to the house with me. But I kind of like having Daddy take care of them. So we'll see. I'll check in with Jade about her avocado trees and then I'll take them back. But I think I mentioned prior about Daddy has a green thumb because this plant and this plant, they were together and it was too much. So he had to separate them. But these are from my papa's funeral. The funeral home sent them. My papa passed in 2016. And yeah, still looking good. This one's going through something at the moment, but it's also still looking good. Oh, and I also told my dad, I was like, I don't think you guys are eating as healthy since I moved out. And he was like, yeah, you're probably right. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to fix that, because they have to live a very long time. Okay, we were just talking about one of my great aunts, and they said she lived to be like 100 and something. It was 3 or 6, so they need to be here a long time. But they also said she ate like 4 cheeseburgers from McDonald's. Hey guys, it's a different day, but I'm back home and I forgot. I wanted to show you guys. I brought back this journal from my parents' house. It's literally poetry from high school, and that paper was the American Library of Poetry, because I submitted 2 different years. I submitted poems, so I literally am a published poet. And I never really think about it, but I did the Audacity project. Love you, Rachel, if you're watching. And she was like, like celebrate your wins and type of stuff. So she had everyone write like a list of all the things you've accomplished. And I put them on there along with other things. And I was like, I didn't realize like I actually have accomplished stuff. So that was funny, but I'd fallen off a little bit with poetry. I think I only put 2 or 3 on my blog so far, but I have like some like written in my notes, and then I'm actually planning on publishing something. It's not going to be like a huge book or anything, but it's essentially a book. We'll see when that comes about, but just know that is on my to-do list. Alrighty guys, we are finally going to be trying this sour cream. Okay, I did a little, lick. Tastes a little bit more like cream cheese with like apple cider vinegar than sour cream. But you can make sour cream by like putting apple cider vinegar in mayonnaise, apparently. So it kind of tastes like that. But it'll be fine for the tacos. Yep, it works just great. Hey guys, so I'm here kind of having a moment. So I was telling you about how me and my mom were doing more of the genealogy stuff. And I was telling you of the cousin in Denmark. I sent her a message, and she responded. She did find her dad. She didn't tell me if that's how we're actually related. She found him a while ago, and just because I hadn't messaged her until now, and she found him a long time. It's been, my cousin Frank messaged me about that in like 2021, and he messaged me again in 22 maybe, but I wasn't logging on consistently, so I didn't respond back to his message about her until the next year, until like 2023, and then he never saw it. And then another woman, I think a geologist, I think her name was Diana. Anyway, she messaged my mom because my mom's the one doing the tree. And so I messaged, the cousin. She was like, oh, wow, because, apparently Frank and the other woman know she found her dad. I haven't heard from Frank. So, and I gave him my aunt's numbers because they were like, yeah, we know exactly who he is. but he hasn't gotten back in touch with them for whatever reason. And then when I asked her if, her dad is in fact away, she hasn't responded back to me. So don't know what that's about. It's whatever. It's annoying because Frank's family trees are private, but I'm pretty sure he has the information that I need for my great-grandfather's side. But actually I have to call another cousin because they did a family tree. And they did a lot of stuff in digging and found some names and things like that. And like I mentioned on how I put my DNA into living DNA, and it brought up somebody with the last name that I recognized from the family that were the slave owners. So I was trying to find the plantation because it was a South Carolina plantation in Chester County. But I ended up finding a document that it's kind of hard to read. I don't really understand most of it, but I found several names, and I found the date for this exact woman, her obituaries, and the genealogy research that my cousin had done. But yeah, I found several names and a few last names, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's a pretty extensive document on this family's whole lineage from when they came over here. And they're assuming they actually came on the ship, the Hopewell, and that name, I don't know. It's like, it rings a bell in my head, like I've heard it somewhere before, but it may just be something that I've heard before. But yeah, I don't know. If any of you guys, or actually I could just Google like Irish genealogists, but I've heard Irish genealogy is confusing. But I still have to figure out the actual link from this woman to my family. So, like, I don't know who it is specifically. So I guess I will message that person. And I still have to message one of my mom's half-sisters too. So it's just a big old mess. Like a spider web that people keep swatting down, to be honest. That's a little annoying. But, yeah. That's that. Okay, after talking to my parents and getting like little questions, I read a little bit more in the document. So we may not be we may not be Irish. We may be French from Ireland, or like French ran out of France into Ireland. The name is Scottish-Irish descent. It's interesting. It's a very long document. I'm going to send it to my mom. But also, because on my dad's side, we're missing information on my papa's dad's family. And there is a document on our last name. And we do know for a fact our last name is spelled slightly different. It's been spelled slightly different in various family members. But I don't know how long this variation of the last name, like when it came about. So, I mean, technically, I'm pretty sure that might be us anyway. But yeah, that also, the spelling of it changed long before, but it's from French reasoning. It's a French last name originally. So, very interesting stuff. I'm probably gonna have to like backtrack from the European family into my papa's dad, because nobody has his parents' names. So yeah, the joys of doing Black genealogy. Hopefully, I'm actually gonna look. Actually, let me go ahead and. Wow, I wasn't recording. Anyways, I just finished lifting. I'm gonna go pick up some more glue vine for my mom. Am I doing anything else today? No. Just put gas in the car. So I'm waiting for my parents to wake up because they stay up late, get up late. But I decided I'm like changing between Bond and this home renovation show. And I turned to the home renovation show because I was like, does it actually need to be renovated? The answer is no. I mean, like, okay, maybe a couple things you can update, but like, it's literally just more people destroying houses for no reason. But they also, it's train ceiling. They're taking that out. And so they have a flat ceiling with recessed lighting. Like, so unnecessary. And I know they're about to ruin this kitchen, so I have it on mute right now because I really don't want to see what they're going to do to it. Because it was nice brown wood cabinets, like a chestnut, like a, what is that lighter, the wood that's lighter than chestnut. But she's like, I'm like, you can tell it's an older kitchen, but it's nice. Like, just paint the walls. Update appliances if need be. But like, oh my gosh. And they've got that nice, the oven is in the cabinets in the wall. They've got a countertop stove. Like, there's nothing wrong with this house. Look at the beautiful cabinetry. They're taking it all out. Oh. This is, oh my god. My heart. So my mommy just gave me this because I need to strengthen my psoas. Are you? Yeah. Because I was actually doing very good, and then I went back to a standing job, and my pelvis is very much not happy, but I cracked it, so. So basically my spine was kind of out of alignment, and I asked my mom to give me a massage so that I don't end up like bedridden and missing like a day of work again, like I did like a couple weeks ago, because that shit really hurt. And it never hurt that bad before. But my mom was a massage therapist, or she was in school, and she took her test. But then we got in a car accident, and she wasn't able to do it. So, you were thinking about what?
Getting a massage table.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just got a nice massage and a thingy to strengthen my hip flexors, because I was telling mom, like, when the first year I did rowing, like, everything was fine. And then the second year, after I went back to working a job where I was standing, I was having issues with my pelvis. And so yeah, and it's kind of bothering me a little bit today. So, and then Anthony gave me an acupuncture person to go to, and they studied in China, so he's like, they're gonna be good. And so yeah, now I have to go drink water to hydrate. And then, like I was telling you about my nose, so you can see here where it's like really prominent, because this was shortly after it happened. But you can see, like, all the rest of my family, it's just straight. So I'm probably going to get a second opinion about, because when I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, he was like, there's like a slight deviation, but he was like, it's not like huge, and like, you don't want to go mess around with your nose because it connected your eyes and stuff. So I guess maybe I fractured it when I hit it. I don't know. Because a lot of people, they fuck up their nose and then they don't know. And then someone tells them, yeah, you messed it up. Morning. So we're on the hunt again for genealogy. I found that document I was telling you about my mom was going through, and she's like, this is an actual book. So we're texting back with my cousin Candace for names, because I was like, do you know how many children these people had? Like, one person had like 8 kids, one person had 9, and it's kind of funny. So it's also interesting looking at that document. We see 2 names, 2 family names. So essentially, I think both sides of my dad's family may have met like on the same plantation, or at least parts of both sides of the family. And then we're looking for the common ancestor for me and Candace, because we know his name, but that may not be his real name. So there's that again. And then, like I was saying, I think I mentioned I may have to like back search my papa's family from our last name. There is reference to it, but I don't know if it'll work. I'll have to find somebody. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of things going on at the beginning of the year, honestly. But also, it's kind of just like my level up here, heading towards my final form, and I'm really excited about it. Ow. Whoa. I feel a little better after massage. It was good.